In Tel Aviv tonight, emotion runs high. Thousands gather at Hostages Square, a place that has become the beating heart of Israel's collective anxiety and hope. The crowd waits for news of their loved ones, the 48 hostages expected to be released under President Donald Trump's ceasefire plan. Signs across the square reveal a mix of relief and irony. One reads, "The end, a Trump production." For many, this is more than a political moment. It's the first tangible sign that an unbearable ordeal may soon end. Families clutch photographs. Some wear shirts printed with faces of their sons and daughters. Others light candles or wave flags, symbols of faith in a deal that has divided opinion but united grief. On stage, US envoy Steve Witkoff stands beside Ivanka Trump and Jared Kushner, President Trump's daughter and son-in-law. Their presence signals Washington's deep investment, not just in the negotiations, but in the narrative of redemption that follows. The gesture is symbolic, a rare moment of warmth in a region still scarred by 2 years of war. Behind the smiles, there is exhaustion, uncertainty, and the immense weight of diplomacy. Jared Kushner steps up to the microphone. "We're not going to celebrate tonight. We're going to celebrate on Monday when the phase 1 gets into a conclusion. But what I did come here tonight to say was that I couldn't be more proud to see the way that the state of Israel and its people have carried themselves through this traumatic, unthinkable, horrific experience." Kushner's words capture the cautious optimism of this moment, restraint before celebration. Monday, he says, will mark the conclusion of phase 1, the verified release of the first batch of hostages under the Trump-brokered deal. He continues, "And it's been a tremendous burden that I felt to see these hostages come home, to see their families get the closure they deserve and to end this nightmare, and also to see the suffering end for the people in Gaza, who, for most of them, were experiencing this through no fault of their own, other than being born into a situation that was horrific." In an unusually empathetic tone, Kushner extends his remarks beyond Israel, acknowledging for the first time in public the suffering inside Gaza. His comment hints at the administration's delicate balancing act, standing firmly with Israel while recognizing the humanitarian cost of the war. Then Ivanka Trump takes the stage, delivering a message from her father, and the president wanted me to share, as he has with so many of you personally, that he sees you, he hears you, he stands with you, always, always. Ivanka's brief statement, relayed from her father, is personal and deliberate. For many families in the square, the reassurance matters. It's a reminder that the White House's involvement is not only strategic, but deeply emotional. As her words echo through the square, a roar rises from the crowd. For a moment, politics gives way to unity. People hug, cry, and chant the names of their loved ones. The promise of Monday, the promise of homecoming, feels almost within reach. But beyond the stage lights, skepticism lingers. Many in Israel fear that Hamas could stall or exploit the process. Others warn that any setback could reignite the fragile ceasefire. Still, tonight, the families choose hope, a rare luxury after 700 days of uncertainty. US envoy Steve Witkoff, a close ally of President Trump and himself of Jewish heritage, takes time to greet relatives in the front rows. He has played a quiet but crucial role, coordinating logistics for the prisoner-hostage exchange that underpins the ceasefire. Officials confirm that under phase 1, 48 hostages, both living and deceased, will be handed over by Hamas through Qatari mediation. In return, Israel will release a larger number of Palestinian detainees and ease restrictions on humanitarian convoys into Gaza. The process, supervised by American, Egyptian and Turkish observers, is described as delicate but moving forward. For the Trump administration, this marks the culmination of months of secret shuttle diplomacy. It was Kushner and Secretary of State Marco Rubio who persuaded regional actors to guarantee compliance. Inside the White House, officials call it the most complex hostage operation since the Cold War. But behind the applause lies trauma that diplomacy cannot erase. Nearly every family here has lived with an empty chair, a missing child, or a daily reminder of captivity. As one sign reads, "We wait, therefore we live." The rally also reflects a transformation in public sentiment. Once fiercely divided, Israel's political spectrum, from far-right supporters of Prime Minister Netanyahu to left-wing peace advocates, now finds rare consensus that the hostages' return must come before everything else. Monday's scheduled release will coincide with President Trump's arrival in Jerusalem, where he is expected to address the Knesset and meet with Prime Minister Netanyahu. US officials say the visit will mark the dawn of a new regional architecture, a phrase that some interpret as a veiled reference to normalization talks involving Saudi Arabia and the Palestinian Authority. Still, questions persist. Can this ceasefire hold? Will Hamas honor all phases of the deal? And can Gaza, scarred by devastation, rebuild under supervision without reigniting resentment? Diplomats privately admit that the answers remain uncertain, yet for now, optimism prevails. Every cheer, every flag in the square seems to push despair one step further back. As night falls over Tel Aviv, the rally fades into quiet determination. Families return home to wait again, but this time with a deadline and a promise. The world's cameras may soon turn elsewhere, yet for Israel and Gaza, Monday could redefine what peace looks like: imperfect, fragile, but finally real. From hostages' square in Tel Aviv, where grief, faith, and politics converge, the countdown continues. 48 hostages, 3 nations of mediation, and 1 deal that could reshape the Middle East. As Jared Kushner said, we're not celebrating yet. But for the families here tonight, the very act of waiting together feels like the beginning of an ending.
We're not going to celebrate tonight. We're going to celebrate on Monday when the phase 1 gets into conclusion. But what I did come here tonight to say was that I couldn't be more proud to see the way that the state of Israel and its people have carried themselves through this traumatic, unthinkable, horrific experience. And it's been a tremendous burden that I felt to see these hostages come home. To see their families get the closure they deserve and to end this nightmare. And also to see the suffering end for the people in Gaza, who, for most of them, were experiencing this through no fault of their own, other than being born into a situation that was horrific.
And the President wanted me to share, as he has with so many of you personally, that he sees you, he hears you, he stands with you, always, always.